Have you ever found yourself watching and learning lots of random things and you wondered where on earth this information can be anyhow useful for you? Maybe this even happened at school during classes. Who knows? But what if I tell you that learning random things is actually cool and can be life-changing? And here's why. And later in the video I will provide a simple framework on how to make random learning impactful. But first, let's define what is random learning. It is the process of acquiring new knowledge or information that may not follow a specific, organized or structured curriculum. It involves gaining insights, facts or skills in a wide range of subjects without a predetermined plan. The main drivers here are your curiosity and exploration. And here are two main things how learning random things can be life-changing. First, in a more relatable way, is helping you form better connections with other people. So for example, imagine a situation. You go to this friends meeting and one of your friends brings his another friend who you've never met. This really interesting and beautiful girl or guy. You start talking and by some magical way, turns out that both of you are into cinematography and photography. You've read a lot about its history and overall, just really passionate about it. And from there, your communication kicks off just greatly. It can be anything, to be honest. Maybe you and your new boss share the same interest in black holes and physics. Maybe you meet someone in the metro reading the same book about psychology or even the same manga. All these little interactions can go on to become life-changing connections. New partner, new job, new opportunities, new friends, new emotions, and so on. And here comes the most important benefit. It is definitely the creation of new impactful ideas. And here's a bit more about them. First, let's understand how many good ideas are actually formed. According to the book by Steven Johnson, Where Good Ideas Come From, every great idea is a combination or imitation of an idea that has already been brought to life. So here, we can employ all this random knowledge. But what's more interesting, here Steven Johnson defines the following concepts about the creation of new ideas. First, he mentions the concept of adjacent possible, which is sort of a set of potential discoveries and innovations that become possible when existing elements and ideas are combined in new ways. Here he says, the strange and beautiful truth about the adjacent possible is that its boundaries grow as you explore them. Each new combination opens up the possibility of other new combinations. He also highlights the importance of these hunches that might appear to different people. It might happen when you're learning something, involved in some projects, or have some problems to solve. And oftentimes, these hunches are slow, which means that they might be at the back of our minds for a long time until we actually come up with the great idea itself. Also, these hunches might appear to someone else, so when you interact with them, their hunches might collide with yours, and the magic can happen. Here, the good example can be the creation of World Wide Web, when Tim Berners-Lee collided his idea with existing technologies like hypertext and the internet, or as well the story of GPS and the atomic clocks. Steven Johnson also highlights the importance of the right environment. We can imagine it as three states of matter. For the right new ideas, the environment cannot be like gas, meaning maybe too much noise and chaos. Here, the new configurations are possible, but they're constantly being torn apart and disrupted by the volatile nature of the environment. But it cannot be also a solid condition. Here, the patterns have stability, but they're incapable of change. The perfect environment would be the liquid state. Liquid networks. A liquid network creates a more promising environment for the system to explore the adjacent possible. So think of it as a soup of your different ideas, interests, knowledge, where they can collide with each other and form new connections, therefore new ideas. Here, the randomness or the wide range of elements in the soup can be beneficial, but at the same time, it's important to know how you could potentially link all of those elements together. And when talking about new ideas, honestly, it doesn't have to be something super extraordinary. These might be some little inspirations for the new drawing, new recipe, new lyrics for your song, maybe an improvement in some business processes if you have one, a way how to improve your relationships, a short film, inspiration for a little article, and so on. Or it might be even taking something ready and modifying it in a cool way. I don't know, customizing clothes, making a new interpretation of a song, a movie, and so on. So now we can transition to the simple framework on how to cultivate this whole process. First, make a schedule and define sources for random learning sessions. For example, as Bill Gates does his Think Weeks, where he devotes 1 week to reading, learning, and just thinking. You know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just free up a time slot of a couple of hours where you can devote to exploring new ideas. Second, create coffee houses in our lives. You know, according to the book, good ideas do not, for the most part, come from inside someone's head. Instead, they come from outside, specifically from social interaction. A study conducted in leading research laboratories showed that scientists rarely have this flash of inspiration, eureka moments, alone in the laboratory. Usually, these ideas come when they're in the conversation with their colleagues. So, if you want a great idea, you can consider going to kinda coffee house, or any other place where you can talk about the topics which are interesting for you with like-minded people. These spaces can be almost anywhere: your interest clubs, group of friends, colleagues, and so on. You know, one of the things that I wish was more acceptable in my high school is this culture of nicely arguing with each other, when you can bounce ideas over each other and oppose and debate different ideas, even though sometimes they might sound silly at the first sight. So if you're right now at school or in the university, you can try creating these platforms and spaces yourself. Even if it means creating an after-school club where you're gonna gather like-minded people and try to create something really cool. It might be in any sphere. Maybe it's engineering, stand-up, comedy, filmmaking, poetry, coding, or maybe just developing some thoughts and having deeper conversations. Third is creating these liquid networks, as we talked earlier, where your ideas and thinking can easily explore the adjacent possible. So create systems for yourself where you have your ideas a bit mixed, but not full chaos. Don't limit yourself from wandering, let your ideas mix and collide, and don't be afraid to try out new hypotheses. Next, make an efficient information and idea storage system, meaning you can easily store and retrieve any ideas that you come up with, any interesting sources of information like videos, quotes from books, articles, journals, or even your sketches and drawings. For that, you can try using your Notes app, Notion, some paper versions, some post-it notes, whatever works for you. Just try to make sure that it doesn't get lost easily. Also, don't forget to visit these ideas from time to time. They can provoke new ideas, or maybe now you have some new hunch or an additional knowledge that in collision with your previous ideas can create something cool. Next is try introducing into your life those activities which let your mind wander on those earlier introduced ideas and hunches. Maybe some longer walks, runs, showers, cooking, baking, drawing, sketching, writing down your ideas and thoughts, journaling, reading books on a wide range of topics, even washing dishes, you know. As Steven Johnson writes, this kind of activities remove you from the task-based focus of modern life and deposit in a more associative state. Given enough time, your mind will often stumble across some old connection that it had long overlooked, and you experience that delightful feeling of private serendipity. Why didn't I think of that before? Next is embrace serendipity in your life. So basically, serendipity means the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy and beneficial way. So it might mean taking chances and talking to strangers, embracing some unexpected experiences and some chance encounters, or reading some articles from the journal that you just picked up. Moving from the previous point, allow yourself to be curious. It's your curiosity. If you want to know something, Google it. Read an encyclopedia about it, watch a documentary, and so on. Looking for something and being surprised by what you find, even if it's not what you set out looking for, is one of the life's great pleasures, as Steven Johnson writes. Let what if drive the learning process and learn how to ask the right questions. And last but not least, act on learning. Once you have the new ideas and knowledge, analyze them first and implement. Here, try to make use of the errors that you make. As Steven Johnson said, being right keeps you in place, being wrong forces you to explore. You can try turning error into insight. Try to analyze the root causes of your mistakes and errors and drive some useful ideas from them. Here comes the end of this little framework. Hopefully you can make use of it and create some outstanding and great ideas. And in the end, as Steven Johnson writes, go for a walk, cultivate hunches, write everything down, but keep your folders messy. Embrace serendipity, make generative mistakes, take on multiple hobbies, frequent coffee houses and other liquid networks. Follow the links, let others build on your ideas. Borrow, recycle, reinvent. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. All the best. It was me, Ilim Rahmat. See you in the next one. And here, and here, and here, and here,